Well guys, it is flooring day. In addition to being another beautiful summer day, hardly any wind, which makes it hard to work. But it is so much cooler inside. I'm looking forward to getting this flooring done also so that we can get the window in, because we come in here in the morning and it's like an air-conditioned building. But then we open the big doors and of course the heat just comes in this window in waves. So yeah, I know I keep saying it, but I'm so excited. It has been such a long, long wait. I mean, I think it's close to 3 years ago now we started the first side, and took us the better part of a year. Old people work at a snail's pace some of the time, that's for sure. But yeah, it's a beautiful day. This will be the view from my bedroom window. You can see where I got a little bit of the weeding done last night in the 2 rows of garlic, but it was still so hot even though the sun was gone, and oh my goodness, that is hard slugging. I got another giant cart of weeds pulled from there. But yeah, just a beautiful day. We're due for some more rain and we sure could use it for the berries and the trees and the garlic. So I should pull another test bulb and see how the garlic is doing. Well, I sure am happy with this. Chris was painting till it was fairly dark, so it was kind of hard to see in here. But this is so beautiful. Now, as I mentioned, this is lighter than in here. Maybe I should have done it the other way around, but you really can't tell much difference when you're in here. And we do have 6 LED lights aside from the dining room one. And I have like, I don't know, I'll probably have 4 different lamps in here. So it's beautiful, I think. Chris has just gone with the tractor to bring some of the boxes of flooring over from the barn because they are so heavy. That's the thing about flooring and tiling and that sort of thing. It's heavy work. And of course I'm sore from being out pulling weeds yesterday. And I mean, it's not just pulling weeds, it's pulling monster weeds. So awful hard on an old woman, but I get going and then I don't want to stop, and it's going to be the same thing with this flooring, and this is going to go so quickly too. And once we get to this part, we will be able to see there is a little bit of a transition. Pretty hard getting 2 shipping containers together just perfectly on the footings, but anyway, we will need a little transition, but we will wait because they're all different slopes and heights and everything, so we'll wait and see what we need for that. But I expect we'll be able to get this done today, and then we can get the trim and the baseboards on, and then it will finally be on time to unpack some of the stuff that I haven't been able to unpack. It was actually in this shipping container, if you remember. It was packed right full. So the big pieces of furniture are over at our friends, so once the flooring and the trim is down, we can just move our furniture in. How exciting is that? Well, we do have to, and I mean Chris, has to put the lighting in. But for him, that's not a big deal. Oh, I see. He moved the skids out of the way so he can bring the tractor right up to the window. Now I get it. Clever boy. When I bought the flooring for the other side, I made sure I had enough for this side. Got it from Costco, and it was a really good price, something like $2.30 a square foot. And if you know Costco, you know not to get what you need at the time and think you're going to get it later, because they'll just continue and go on to something else, and you will not get what you want. Now, just a little tip. We are doing the flooring from this side over that way, so it's going the same direction as the other building. And you want to bring your boxes in and lay them so that the groove is on this side, the tongue is on this side, so that when you open them, you can just lay them out. You're not flipping everything around. So Chris is laying them out. It's 14, just over 14 square feet per box. So that's about, like a box is enough to do one sheet of plywood. So he's stacking them sort of along the way so we can open them as we go. Now I'll get these sawhorses out of here and there will be absolutely nothing left in the building. So it'll be clean and easy going from there. Don't mark the walls. So you see how we placed all of the boxes facing the same way. This way, and they're on that side because you're going to start laying them out here. So you open the box and all you have to do is lay them out exactly the way they come out of the box. It just makes it a lot quicker and easier. We've laid enough flooring that we've learned.
That's all there is.
Well, that's all the boxes. Chris said he thought there was going to be some extra, but it looks like somebody estimated pretty close to the wire. So Chris has measured, he's going to cut this piece here. The issue we're having with, of course, is he doesn't have his glasses on. And getting the first pieces together where it's not even like a hair off widthwise. So we'll get that started, and I think once we get the second row started, then you'll know if it's off, because you'll see a gap here at the joints. Now what you do is you take the cutoff from here and you start at the other end of the room with the cutoff. That way you don't end up with all your joints in the same places. You definitely don't want that. It'll be a lot easier for you to see what we're doing once we get into this room. The other thing too is we'll have to get out to here before we get started on this row, so that we make sure that everything transitions from one room to the other. So now what Chris did, we pushed this into the wall where we want it, and he measured from the edge of the flooring to the joint in the plywood, and it's 40 3/8 all the way down. So that's what you want to do, is use a spot to measure from, and then you know the first row is going straight. Now the cutoff from this piece is just a couple inches, he said, so it's too small to start as a starter strip down there. So what we're doing is taking a fresh sheet and cutting it into 1/3 and 2/3 so that the joints aren't close to each other when we get down to here. So we were struggling, partly because there's no lighting, to get the first few rows, all the joints perfect. It's not easy because you get a joint perfect, then you got to lift that sheet up to get the next one in. So anyway, Chris went out to the shipping container and got the brand new installation kit that he'd never used. And guess what? It works. So, yes, now, I'll show you what was happening. We would get the first joint perfect, And then the next joint, by the time we start the second row, the next joint would be off. So even though we were, like say this one was not tight in this corner, we use the bar that comes with that kit. Oh, it's way down here. So let's say this joint, it wasn't tight there. So you put this in here and you whack this end of it and it pulls this tight so that you can continue. Now we've got all of our joints tight. We kept coming along and we'd have it perfect and then we'd come along and it'd be loose again. So now we've got the first 2 rows, all the joints are perfect, but well worth its money. Well worth its money, kiddies. So funny that it was brand new in the box, never used. So now we've got almost the 3rd row completed, and if you look, there's a joint, there's a joint, there's a joint. So they're sort of, because we have such a uniform size here, we're not able to stagger the joints any more than that, really, without having a huge amount of waste. But that's okay, because there's one there, then over there. So they're like over a foot apart, which is okay. So. Just happened to work out a full sheet that's going to go right across the door without having to launch it. Started on that, but we're more than halfway through the width of this room. Now we're away to the races. We're through the door. Pieces, a few more full pieces, and then all the ones at the edge have to be ripped to 5 3/4. And the measurement's the same all the way down. Imagine that. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Light at the end of the shipping container too. Very close to done. Stretch a little bit there and rip the strips for here. So I have 4 full boxes and a couple sheets done. We're going to the city Monday, so we'll get the transition strip for there. Ta-da! Just got to do the trim in the corners and the baseboard and the trim around the doors, and then we can move the furniture in. That is it for today. We are whooped as usual. Might pick some berries after supper, but done for today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share this video with your family and friends. And we'll see you next time.